Good
Hi,
afternoon.
Hi.
Good afternoon. Hi.
okay. Uh, okay, I hope you're ready. We can start with the um presentation in the webinar. Okay. Isa, are you there?
Yes, how are you?
Yeah.
Good to see. How's everyone
Okay.
doing today around the world?
Good,
Greetings.
good. Okay.
Greetings from
Isa, are
Bangalore.
you there?
Yeah. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
you can start.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this exciting and enlightening webinar presented by Hash Future School. Today is a day of cosmic exploration, as we have the privilege of hosting a distinguished guest who has played a vital role in the unraveling the mysteries of space. I'm thrilled to introduce our guest speaker for today. Our speaker is no stranger to the vast expanse beyond our atmosphere. Juan Gonzalez Hernandez is a brilliant mind and a dedicated contributing significantly to the NISAR project.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, Isa. Can you guys hear me? It's a little choppy
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, you let me know if I can go, Sidar, or
Yeah, you can go ahead.
okay. Well, nice to meet you, everyone. Very excited to be here. I would like to first of all just kick off to see how many countries are here. Can one of you maybe take your turn and say I'm in like India, for example, or let's see if, where are you guys located in the world?
So I'm from India and I'm currently living in Bangalore right now.
Nice. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else that is not in Bangalore?
I'm from India itself, and currently I'm living in Kerala.
Kerala, nice. I heard her Kerala is beautiful. Anyone else? Go ahead.
I am from India
Also
and
living in India.
One by one, guys, one by one.
Where are you? Where are you, sir? Where are you living?
Nice. Okay.
okay,
Sir,
I
where
am
are
from
you?
India. I am from India
Where are you,
and
sir?
I am living in Delhi.
Oh, beautiful. I'm gonna be in Delhi on the weekend. Looking forward
Uh,
to checking out Delhi.
Sir, where are you from? I'm in the India and I'm now in Qatar.
Okay, okay, awesome. In
I,
Qatar,
I am
beautiful.
in the India and I am living in Kerala.
Kerala, nice. All right. Well, nice to meet you all. I hope that
Sir,
you
where
guys
are
are.
you from?
I'm from Guatemala, in a small country in Central America. And let me project the presentation so we can get started, okay? So give me a second here. Let me share my screen. Let me give me a second, guys. Host disable participant screen. Okay, I think Siddharth, I think you have to enable me to share the screen, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay, ma'am,
Yes.
could you just make him the co-host?
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just yeah.
Still trying. Let me see.
Yeah, I think we'll just make you the co-host so you can present. Yeah,
Okay.
you can do it now.
So you are the co-host now.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let me see if I can give me a second. Okay. Let me see if that presents something here. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Sorry about this. Let me try it again. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to quit and reopen, okay? I'll be right back. Oh, wait, let me see. Let me be able to record. Okay, let me see. Having an issue here, technical issues. All right. Can you guys see my screen now? What are you guys seeing right now?
Not yet.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see it now?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's do this. Let's have some fun with this. All right. So let's get started here. Let me know if you guys have any questions. But what you're looking at here is a spacecraft that we're building here in India, actually. So as Isa introduced, I'm an engineer. I study aeronautical and mechanical engineering, aerospace and mechanical engineering in college, and then in graduate school. So like all of you, I'm sure you're all aspiring to go to college. And so I hope you will be able to have a choice to study engineering. So these are some really cool pictures I took. I thought I would share with you. On the top left is a beautiful campus in California. It's called the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California. So that's a NASA center. And we actually get to build the Mars rovers, the rovers that are currently in Mars. So on the left, on the left bottom with me in the picture, you have an exact replica of the first rover that we sent out, which was Curiosity in 2012. And then on the right, you have the actual rover that we sent to Mars called Perseverance. How cool is that, right? They look similar, but they have different instruments, right? They have different drilling instruments. They have more high-tech lasers to read the chemical composition of rocks in Mars. You know, you can see the difference in the tires are different too, more optimized, more up-to-date sort of like technology that we put to use, right? So that's really cool. I wanted to share with you guys. This is like the place where we build spacecrafts, not only the rovers, but also NISA, as we're gonna see. So what is NISA, right? So who are you, my friend? You already share with me where you're from. What are you excited about in life? These are important questions that you should be asking yourself, you know, while you're in school, right? Regardless of where you're at in college or whether you're in high school or in middle school and elementary school, you know, what excites you? I remember as a kid, at 12 years old, I already knew I wanted to become an engineer. You know, I was like, okay, what is this? You know, like start playing with cables and, you know, reading about what was going on in space or reading what's going on, how the electricity works, how the electromagnetism works, things that really was very interesting about. So then you ask yourself, you know, how are you going to get there, right? How are you going to get to college? How are you going to get to high school? How are you going to get to middle school? So take your parents' advice. I recommend it, you know, if they're encouraging you. I'm sure if you're in this conference, your parents have been very much involved in, let's say, your growth and your academics. So you should be very grateful for your parents that are invested in worrying about you, you know, doing better and better every day. So the question is whether you believe you can accomplish it. And this is going to be something that you're going to ask yourself the rest of your life, regardless whether you're 5 years old or you're 50 or, you know, do you believe you can accomplish it? And I believe you can. And I hope you do too. So this is the spacecraft, you know, like many people think, oh yeah, like spacecrafts look like Star Wars, you know, or with lasers and guns and whatnot. And this is what we see, let's say in Hollywood or in like different movies. But a true scientific spacecraft is composed by all these elements. What is so exciting about NISA though is, and unique, is that it's actually two countries that are contributing, two powerful countries, India and the United States. So you can see, for example, okay, good, my pointer is working. See these little blue dots here, these blue tiles? That's India, that's the, oh, sorry, this is the instruments that JPL is providing. See these ones right here? This is the NASA instrument. This guy right here in yellow, those are the radio frequency like tiles that are being procured by ISRO, by the Indian Space Research Organization. And then you can see like the star trackers, you know, how does the spacecraft know where it's located in space? Imagine you throw a ball in space. What is right and what is left? What is up and what is down, right? You don't have no way of telling unless you have something to grab onto, right, in space. So that's why we have star trackers. Then this beautiful structure here holds this huge boom together. And this big antenna we have is 12 meter wide, huge, right? 12 meters in diameter that is able to capture data from the Earth. And I will show you guys some really cool videos I have for you guys coming up. So this is actually something that we're testing right now here in Bangalore. This is as beautiful, everything comes together, whether you're, let's say, passionate about building things, you know, like Legos, or you have a technique, you want to build, even work with wood or metal or electricity, right? Everything comes together here. I love this phase, right? Because we got in space, imagine in space, it's lonely up there. The spacecraft has to do everything by itself. You know, it's deploying its boom antenna. It has certain weight. Everything has to be well balanced. It has to expand its boom. And it has some things called pyros. Pyros are like little explosions, pam, 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 as they go through the process. So it's very exciting to see this. And I'm going to show you guys a really cool video right now. And pay close attention because this is going to happen in 3 months. So in 3 months, we're going to be doing this real life out of the East Coast of India. And it's going to go around the Earth. And I'll show you guys a really cool introduction. Let me know. Can you guys see my screen? I'm going to play a little bit and I need you guys to tell me if you can. Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All right.
sir.
You guys see a rocket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
I'm going to mute myself and please enjoy the video.
You're muted. You're muted.
Let me do it. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me repeat it again. Oh man, it's gonna be exciting. Fantastic. That's the antenna, the boom and the antenna. Ten days to get there. 10 days.
What's that?
Wow, that is exciting. Did you guys enjoy it?
Yes.
All right. I want to ask you guys a question. Question time. So why do you think the spacecraft has solar panels?
energy.
of the energy for the solar energy.
Okay, beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. So these right here, I'll show you guys a really cool video, right? But you imagine radio frequencies coming, and this is works like an amplifier, like you know how you have it's analogous to, let's say, a speaker in your television. You know, you get like this sound, and then boom, you get amplified, right? That's exactly what this like big round array does. It actually amplifies the signal that hits Earth, and then it receives it back. I'll show you guys a really cool video after. Here we go. So very good for those that answer. So orbit. Can somebody tell me what is an orbit? What is an orbit? When they talk about the moon.
I know.
Okay, go for it.
An orbit is when something is, it will not fly away from the object that is like crash into it. So it will just like go around it in circles.
Yeah, it stays in the same altitude, right? It stays in the same altitude. Very good. You can also write it in the chat. I want to see participation. Let's see who can write in the chat. If we don't have the time all the time to hear everyone, but if you want to pitch in, do a chat. Let's see how we can do this. That would be really cool. All right. I wish we were in person because that way I can reward you with a sticker or something from NASA. But maybe Sindarth can send it to you guys if you guys participate. Let's see.
So what? Work at NASA?
Yes. Like stickers from NASA or like a patch. But let's continue participating. All right.
I wish I could be there.
Oh, you can. You can. All right, here we go. We got some good pictures. Building takes time and focus, right? So just like your homework, just like your school projects, this is a big school project. Like, look at all these people working, you know, in this beautiful structure that is gonna hold on to the boom. This is gonna be, we were gonna be doing the test boom. See this black thing here? This is the boom. This is the actual boom that is gonna, you just saw in the video, that is gonna open up in space with a big array. So we are actually simulating zero gravity with all these pulleys. And this is, you learn it in engineering, you know, engineering school. How can you, you know, you use pulleys like in the old days to exert force, right? And simulate zero gravity. On the left, you have all the internal, like the organs inside the spacecraft. So you ever wonder how a spacecraft look like inside? So you have the brain. This is the brain of the spacecraft. Super cool, right? You have a bunch of cables, electrical engineers. They all do this, software engineers, mechanical engineers, material engineers. Then you have structural engineers as well. And then this guy right here, this is the recorder. All the data. Can somebody tell me how many bytes are in 1 megabyte?
I know.
You can write it down in the chat.
I would say 1 billion.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, beautiful. Yes. Okay, 1 million, e to the 9, e to the 6. Okay, can somebody tell me a terabyte? What is 1 terabyte? How many zeros? E to the what? If a megabyte, it's e to the 6. A gigabyte is e to the 9. What is a terabyte?
I know. I would say 1 terabyte is 1 trillion bytes.
E to the 12, right? E to the 12. Imagine. So you have now, we went from 6 zeros to 9 zeros to 12 zeros. That's how much data, like your computer works. Some of your computers may be working on gigabytes. E to the 9th, right? Now, this guy right here is E12, e to the 12, terabytes of data information from Earth. Here we go. Let's continue on. This is super interesting. These are some really cool pictures they took back in NASA, JPL. Everything assembled. You know, this is how the spacecraft is going to look. It's actually looking like that here now in India. We brought this whole thing back here. So let's see how it comes together, okay? So you can see right here, all the instrumentation. Instruments are very important, right? Because what good is it to send something in space and doesn't do anything, right? It has to do something good for humanity. And
Yes,
this is exactly what it's going to do. Yeah.
So if there was no instruments on like any of them, they would just be like more space waste.
With trash.
Yeah.
With nothing. Yeah, like nothing, just empty, you know, doing nothing up there. You know, so everything in space has a purpose, or should have a purpose, a good for humanity. So right here you have the instrument by NASA, and these are, remember I showed you the schematic? This is what Indian engineers designed and built. The synthetic aperture radar for an S-band. Is L-band and S-band. And then you can Google on your time, as smart kids that you guys are, what is L-band and S-band. Right here, it's a combination of engineers. Look, they all are from India. Some are from NASA, from Israel, and JPL team back home. You know, you can see the structure. They're building it like a huge Lego, like a huge technique. And you use the same sort of methodology. We have procedures like, you know, how Lego tells you how to build a car. We also, out there, basically those procedures, how to put it together, you know, what it's supposed to do, what wires go where, you know, because everything's so detail oriented that any error can be catastrophic. So we want to make sure that as our Indian partners came, we were ready for them. So you can see they're delivering the electronics, you know, for those of you that like electronics and microprocessors, or if you guys are ready into programming, Python, C++, or if you guys are into MATLAB, Unix, Linux, those languages are very important, right? And as we move on now to the next generation, I cannot even imagine what you're going to be doing. It's going to be very exciting, the kind of languages that you're going to be creating and working with. This right here looks so interesting, right? It's a huge chamber. Israel also has a huge chamber like this, but sideways here in India. So what this space does is that it actually simulates space environment. So when you imagine what happens to let's say one of you can tell me what would happen to you if you go to space right now and the sun hits you. What's going to happen to your suit, to your astronaut suit?
I don't know. We will get into pieces.
It's gonna get hot, right? It's gonna get really hot.
Yeah.
In that, in we go to space, we get the helmet. In that, it is the oxygen is there.
Uh-huh.
And after we went to space, this much in rocket, this much things also is there in the rocket.
Yes, yes. So once you get out the rocket, now think of this, right? Like, see this gold thing? Gold is like the jacket, is the spacecraft's jacket, but it doesn't let it get too cold. It retains the heat inside, but it also needs like to be cool off, right? It has to be at the right temperature, like our bodies here on Earth. So this big chamber, we take all the air out, and then we make it really cold and we make it really hot. And we are like, okay, can the spacecraft survive? And successfully, we have been able to test here in Bangalore and also in India. I'm sorry, and the US, which is pretty exciting. We're so close to getting launched now. Wow, so this aircraft, it's impressive. I always like airplanes. So this guy right here, see this big box that they're pushing? That's where the spacecraft is. It came all the way from the other side of the world here to India, to Bangalore. You know, so this is something to be very proud of. You know, like we're able to collaborate and have this big spacecraft come into into an airplane and makes it across the oceans to make it over here to India. Very exciting. We had a lot of people working, a lot of coordination, a lot of engineers. Like this guy's pushing, they're actually engineers. You know, like we're going for it. You know, all hands on deck, everyone working together to make this happen. So, oh my goodness. So we come to India now. We packed it up. You can see it has a bunch of cool sensors that measures, you know, if the spacecraft turns, or, you know, when you're in the car, right, or in a plane, you feel the vibrations of the plane. But we have little sensors underneath, you know, the spacecraft, and we're able to tell, okay, you know, the spacecraft, it's moving, acceleration. We have some loads, or if the spacecraft or the airplane had some turbulence, we can assess, make sure it doesn't get damaged. And then you can see also has some like batteries, temperature, thermal environment, to make sure it doesn't get too hot or too cold inside the spacecraft as well, inside this chamber, this box that we were just pushing into the airplane. Wow, so I'm showing you two very special pictures. Israel they don't publish pictures of their facility, because they are doing secret stuff. They like to keep their military and also scientific missions not from the public. They're keeping them private, so that way they retain technology as well, and we respect that. But Israel published these two pictures, and I was telling Siddharth, your lead, that these are the only two pictures, to my knowledge, that have been released by Israel. So these are very special pictures, not, very unique. You can see that when it arrived, we took it, and then at this very moment on the left, this is what we shipped from NASA JPL, and this is what got built here in India. So boom, we're putting it together. And at this point, now it's a spacecraft, right? It's the instrument and all the engineering payload, all the batteries, fuel, how does it talk to Earth, communication systems. Very exciting. So we want to, obviously, it's going to do some good science. We want to make sure that, we are able to predict, let's say, earthquakes, or see what the damage is on Earth in case there's a volcano eruption or an earthquake, or sadly, there's been forests that catch on fire, like in California. And India is interested in knowing how is it going with, your green areas, farming, etc. So that's its purpose, to be able to assess better, temperatures. You can see the profile here. It has been any motion. For example, this is a figure 1723. That's the ice motion and deformation in the Arctic Sea. So if some of you want to be scientists and study the movement of tectonic plates, the movement of ice sheets, this data will be available. I don't know, when you grow up or you get your degree in a few years, this data will be available for you to study. So it's impressive. It's going to be fantastic to have this data. So let me show you another really cool video. I believe this one is the spacecraft is going to be measuring the biomass over 12 days. So it's taking basically pictures, right? It's taking images of the Earth in a different frequency. So not like in color, like we see it, with your eyes, but radio frequencies have the ability to see beyond, like in another, like it can look underneath the Earth to a certain distance. It can look at a very small, like 6 centimeters. We're talking about 6 centimeters, 8 centimeters resolution of movement on Earth. So imagine it's going to be doing, or in 12 days, we're going to be able to map the entire Earth. So you see that the spacecraft is also in the same, it's also in the same orbit. Is that right? Cool. All right. So show me the results. Let's see how it's going to map it. Let's look at this also simulation. So let's say you live here, and then the spacecraft is going to fly over your house. Imagine the whole Earth is so crazy. Boom. Siddhar's house has been mapped by Nisar. Juan's house has been Siddhar. Isa's house has been mapped by Nisar. And then this is going to happen every 12 days. And if there is, let's say, an earthquake, if there is like inundation or storms, the monsoons come, Nisar will be able to, the Indian Space Agency is going to be able to assess, the danger.
Bat. Wow.
Yes. Isn't that exciting? So let me show you this cool video too. This is back in January 1995. Also using the radio frequency technology that is going to use. but you can see the water, right? The water displacement. Look at that. It goes up and down in California. My home is right here around this area. Whoa, look at that. Movements, you know,
How
look,
about
it's in 1 year. See, December, February 1995. Wow, that's water, right? Water content, up and going up and down. We don't feel it because it happens over like years, but it's something that it's happening, right? And that's something that is happening here in Bangalore. It's happening in Qatar. It's happening in wherever you are. Cool. So let's look at. So I think that was the last video I had to show you, and I do want to challenge you to continue to dream, continue to dare mighty things. I remember when I was your age, um, a young age, I used to play with my Legos, with my toys, or my Colgate boxes that I used to make because I didn't have Legos at the time. Whatever means you have, use your imagination for good, so you can build amazing things for this society that we needed so bad, right? We needed a lot. We need a lot of good examples and good work. Okay. Do any of you or Siddharth, I pass it over to you. You let me know. I'll
Okay,
start
I think we
sharing
can.
now.
Isa, are you there? I think you can take over.
Thank you, Mr. Juan, for that wonderful presentation. Now I would like to start the Q&A session.
Okay.
If anybody has any questions, whatever it may be, you can go ahead and ask.
Can you guys see me, by the way, or I'm just seeing the presentation right now?
You can stop presenting.
Okay.
We can see you.
All right. Thank you. I wasn't sure if you guys were looking at me or just looking at the presentation all along.
Yeah, Ahmad, you can ask a question.
Hello, sir. My name is Ahmed. So, sir, my question is about what kind of fuel are we going to use in this mission?
Yeah, so for the rocket, you have liquid propulsion.
Yeah.
The thing is that GSLV utilizes I forgot the fuel, but definitely on the spacecraft to get us into orbit, we're probably gonna be using hydrazine, which is typically what is used. It's a non reactive gas, single gas. Yeah, so that will help us put the spacecraft in its right orbit and use the smaller thrusters to make adjustment in orbit. And yeah, so that's what we're using for but I'm gonna write it down and look into it further. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Abel? Yeah.
Sir, my question is, a rocket go from here? How many days it will take to reach in Earth? Earth is fully closed without water and things. How do rocket will go from Earth?
From Earth, how long? Okay, it takes approximately, depending on the orbit, anywhere between 3 minutes to 4 minutes to for the first stage of the rocket that you saw in the video. It depletes, the fuel depletes. And then we go around, it's gonna take various days for us to check out. So let's say you think of like, and it's analogous to, I wanna say maybe, let me see. I'm trying to think like something that you turn in steps. So you turn on your computer, you have to give it time, right? Same as with the spacecraft. So it's gonna take let's say 1 day for the spacecraft to come alive. To check everything, make sure that all the electronics are good. Then another day we'll continue checking other parts of the spacecraft. So it's gonna take us around 10 to 12 days to get the whole spacecraft deployed and to be healthy. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Why the people all after receiving in Earth, why do the people will fly?
Um, okay, I'm trying to understand your question. So you're saying that people will fly? You're asking how long it's gonna take for people to fly?
Yes, sir. They also their uniform also and their helmet also. They all fly after in that, and they are flying.
Yes. So
Yes.
India, Israel is working on manned missions now. They're planning. They're planning. President Modi, Prime Minister Modi announced, I think, last month that they're working on manned missions to the International Space Station. I think they're working on some rovers that are gonna go to the moon, like uh, like people, people, not just like the uh, Chandrayaan that landed, but actually have astronauts go to the moon in behalf of India. So that's going to be exciting, but that's going to take years because it takes years to build that technology. Yeah. Anyone else?
Can I
Okay,
ask a
thank you, sir.
question?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, why rocket fire to go?
Okay, I think Abigail, right? Is that correct? Who's Sadith? Are you or
Yeah,
Isa?
Abigail, are you there? I think you have
Yeah,
a
I'm
question.
here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
So, like, the Mars also has like atmosphere and all, right? So
Yes.
like, why can't we live in Mars also?
Yeah. So Mars has 1/6 of our, let's say, atmosphere, 1/6 of our gravity. Its atmosphere is very thin, and in only heavy gases like methane for them, for example, is the gas that is in Mars. There's no oxygen. It's basically methane gas. So what we did do in one of the rover pictures I sent you is that we sent an instrument that converts methane into water and oxygen. So it breaks down the chemical element, and it makes a little bit of oxygen, a few grams of oxygen, but that's enough to show that we can create oxygen in Mars. So the answer to your question is that Mars doesn't have oxygen. So that's why we cannot live on Mars until we develop the technology. Yeah. Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you, Abigail. Next.
Diana, I think you have a question. Go ahead.
May
So
I
my
ask?
question,
Yeah,
so my
Diana.
question is,
Yeah,
so my
go.
question is, what is the rocket's name? Is it Chandrayaan 3?
The spacecraft is called NISAR. NISAR. NISAR.
What is the rocket's name?
The rocket, I think it's a PSLG, I believe. It's a Indian-made rocket. Let me see.
No, okay.
It's a Mark II, yeah, PSLG.
Now can it?
It's wrong. Give me a second. GSLV. Rocket for NISAR. Give me a second. We're gonna be using. It's a good question. Let me see. A GSLV. Yeah, that's the name of the rocket. GSLV. Okay. GSLV Mark II.
So may I ask a question?
Okay, thank you, Diana. Diana. Okay, go ahead next.
Can I? So next, I would like to ask, like, why? How long it will take to make like a rocket?
Oof. So we don't build a rocket, but it can take
Like the like you took a photo of a rocket, right?
yeah,
Yeah, that presentation that was a photo. So how long does it take? Long does that take?
yeah. So for the spacecraft, okay, so the rocket, you have the rocket, right? Rocket. Let me write it down for you. And then the spacecraft. This is NISAR. So it's two elements, right? You have the rocket and you have NISAR. This right here, NISAR, the whole what pushes the NISAR spacecraft to space. I do not know how long it takes for Israel to build it, but I'm sure they can get it done like pretty quickly, like maybe a year. I'm just wild guess. NISAR is taking us a lot longer because we have to look at the instruments. It's the first time we're doing it. So we are working with two different frequencies that we don't want them. You know how sometimes you put your radio in the car or in your motorcycle and the frequencies are conflicting, right? You pick up another radio station. That's an analogous example. Same with NISAR. It has two frequencies. So we had to deal scientifically how to deal with two frequencies working at the same time without being in conflict. So this took us, it's taking us from planning to launch around 10 years, a little over 10 years. And then the scientists have been planning this for even longer. So just important to have that recognition, that difference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next.
Amir, I think you have a question.
Which is a great toy to start engineering, sir?
When I decided to study engineering, well, I decided when I was, I think, 12 years old. When I was like maybe your age, I don't know how old you are, but you maybe look like 12, yeah, 10, 12 years old. And I remember that I like building things. I like going to work with my uncle who's an electrician. I had another uncle who was a mechanic. So I learned like, basically how to get shocked at at a very young age. And also my uncle, he would have me clean the cylinders inside the trailers because he's a mechanic, a trailer mechanic. So he would take me and my job was clean the cylinders. That was my job. So he can put them back together, put the engine back together. So yes, at 12 years, I kind of knew already I wanted to, build at that time I didn't know exactly. I think it was when I was maybe about 14 that I saw JPL, and then I made it my goal to my prayer and my effort and my hard work to get to work for NASA one day. And it took a long time, but it happened, so very grateful to God for that. And just to answer your question, that was the age at 12 years old. Maybe you can decide to be an engineer if you haven't decided yet, maybe in the future you will. Or you can be anything you want, you just have to commit to it though. You have to keep going and finish. Yeah, that's the challenge. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, sir.
So I have a
I
question.
mean, you've got, yeah, go ahead.
My question is there something that is motivating you to be working at NASA? Like, is there something that keep you, like, entertained there?
Oh man. There's so many things. I think NISA made me realize that so I joined NASA because I always wanted to be part of the Mars program. I wanted to build a rover for Mars. It was like, wow, like I remember watching the landing of Curiosity Mars in 2012. And man, I was in tears. I was like so excited, but I think what NISAR has done for me is that we can see the impact of like technology for the better of the world, and I'm very much interested in like farming. Very much interested in farming and like see how the effects are in farm, specifically coffee farming. So I think my career has been now diverted to like, okay, earth science, even though I'm already working in the next mission to Mars, which is also very exciting. But I feel like earth science it's like something that I really enjoy. Yeah, for the better of humanity. I mean, Mars is cool, but I'm talking about downlink of data in like megabytes, now versus dealing with terabytes of data. Like you have so much knowledge of Earth now, right? Versus a limited amount of knowledge of Mars. Yeah. So it's cool, you know, like that to answer your question, that's what keeps me motivated now. It's like, yeah, it's good. Yeah, Earth science is great. Thank you for your question.
Anyone else?
I think two people are.
Can I
Yeah.
say a question?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you go ahead, ask.
Sir, why did you join the NASA?
Can you repeat that?
Why did you join the NASA?
Why did I join NASA? Because it was just something that I really, really wanted to do. Like I really like I was curious about space, always been curious about space, the planets, the moon. I was interested about like physics, reading about Galileo Galilei, reading about like all like Newton with calculus, gravity, you know, and I think that's what got me very interested. I wanted to work in a spacecraft like NISAR, you know, or like a rover like Perseverance. So, you know, just to wanting to contribute, yeah, and do that kind of like the very good work.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Any more
Sir,
questions? Yeah.
I have a question. It's related to the rocket. So, does the rocket have a second plan? Like, if the rocket was, uh, like, if the rocket was destroyed or something happened to the rocket
Or
outside the
down.
atmosphere, what will happen?
Yeah, so we don't have a backup plan. If a rocket, let's say, has a malfunction in takeoff, and once it goes, it has to get us to an orbit where we're able to detach, like you saw in the video, and then the other half just flies off and it starts using its own thrusters to get us there. But there's 3 stages, right? There's a first stage, second stage, and third. I think because we're going to 737 kilometers. I think the GSLV. You can Google it if you want. I'm not the GSLV expert because that's an Israel product, but I think it has a first stage, second stage, and the third stage. So we need to burn through 3 minutes here, 3.5 to another minute on the second stage, and another minute or so on third stage or something like that. So all of this fuel needs to get us to the right orbit. If any of these guys don't make it, we are going to probably end up in another orbit if we're lucky, or we might lose the mission if the rocket doesn't make it. Yeah. So we don't have a backup plan. We will have to readjust. Let's say instead of getting to 737 kilometers or 787 kilometers, let's say we only make it to 600. We'll have to, it'll be a nightmare because we had to do all of the orbit calculations, all of the power calculations, communications. We had to do so much work to even try to save the mission. Yeah, so that rocket is very important, very, very important.
I
Okay.
see.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Yeah,
Go
okay.
ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Why rockets need fire to go to space?
Why?
Why rockets need fire to go to the space?
Why do we want to go to space?
No, why rockets need fire to go to space?
I'm having an issue hearing you. Can you write it? Can you write your question in the chat real quick?
Yeah.
Sorry. Let's give it a minute for the question to come through, everyone. Very excited about questions. I hope all of you enjoy the presentation. Enjoying it so far?
Yes, sir.
It was an amazing presentation.
Okay. We'll come back to your question because I couldn't really hear you. Is that Amir who has the question? Who has the question, Sadir?
I think it is Fatima answer. She'll
Oh,
take.
Pati.
I put it.
Okay, I'm looking at the chat. I'm sorry, everyone. I was behind. Oh, why rockets need fire to go to the space? Okay, so rockets need energy. So you turn fuel like your car, you go to a gas station or your motorcycle, you put fuel, and then there is a chamber inside the motorcycle or the car or the truck, and that converts the thermal energy inside the fuel into actual energy that you can, an impulse. So that's why the motor is able to go, right? And that's why the motorcycle flies by the streets of Bangalore, or the car just goes quick, right? Like in Fast and Furious. But for the rocket, you use the fuel and the oxygen, and then you have it in one chamber. You mix them both. You put like a little spark plug and control explosion. It's a control explosion inside the rocket. So then we use all the energy of that controlled explosion, and it goes down into this nozzle, and we compress all the energy, and then we release it. And that's how you get momentum to get the rocket to go up. So if you look at videos on YouTube of rockets, you see this blue line, right? This flame, and then it opens up. So all that, what you're seeing in that blue, that's all energy that is coming out of that chamber. So that's why you need, it looks like explosion, it looks like fire, it is fire, but it's a control explosion, it's control fire. Okay, thank you for your question. Next.
Sir, I have a question. Those who people goes to space, how they come uh, return
The
back
people that go,
back back to India?
people that go to space, how to make it back. Okay, so let's say you have nowadays when you have astronauts go to the International Space Station, they go, let's say this is the International Space Station, they go, boop, they dock, right? But the International Space Station, that little capsule has the capability of releasing, and it goes back to Earth. And it also has two emergency capsules. One comes back, or the other one stays there if there's a need for emergency in the International Space Station. So that's how they come back. So the capsules they use have a safety system. It has its control systems, propulsion system to get them back into orbit, back into Earth. Okay, next
Okay,
question.
thank you, sir.
So I have a question, sir.
Go ahead.
My question is, what is the lifespan of NISAR spacecraft?
Okay, so right now we're planning it for 3 years.
3 years. Oh.
3 years, but historically the NASA missions last many years. So we over-engineer our spacecraft. So it's scheduled for 3 years, but we know it's gonna be more than that. So we hope. Yes.
So after 3 years, will astronaut repair it in the space, or will we launch another one?
No, so that's a good question. So in space there's an orbit that is basically like the trash can of orbit, like the trash can orbit, where
Yeah.
you have satellites that are flying, and once they are decommissioned, whether they're military or they're science or whatever it is, we have enough fuel saved on the spacecraft to put them on that orbit, and they basically become disabled after that. Yeah, so NISAR, we hope, even though we're scheduled only for 3 years, if we are really hoping that it will last more than a decade, of science. But eventually, technology gets old. We're gonna run out of fuel, right? So let's say the spacecraft orbit starts decaying or drifting in space. Then we're gonna run out of fuel to put it back into that orbit again or rotate it in its axis, whether it's this way, axial or rotational axis, right? We're not gonna have that access to it. So good questions, very good questions. Okay, thank you so much.
Can I ask a
Thank
question, sir?
Go ahead.
Which is the 2023 best toy to start kids to engineer in NASA?
Ooh, Christmas 23 toys. That's a good question, man. It's a really good question. I would say I would probably, for your generation, I'll probably get you I'll just send you, let's say if I was buying a gift, I'll send them an Arduino with a bunch of like different pieces from the market, like wheels or wings, and then it's not a toy. I think it'll be more like a challenge. Like, okay, I need you to build a quadcopter, an helicopter, or build like something that is useful, right? With the Arduinos, because you can learn how to program the Arduino, you can learn how to like use batteries. So you're building like a NISA, but in a micro level, for small. So once you learn all those skills, it's about building skills, right? Like anyone can build a Lego with instructions, like yeah, I can say a Lego, but you already have the instructions. It's boring, it's like you want something like a puzzle, like that can help you grow. And that's where I think it's cool because you learn other like skills that are you're playing, but it's gonna help you in your school.
I really have the Arduino and I started to build LED.
There you go.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
the coolest thing. Yeah. You have to learn how to program that Arduino really well. Yeah. To do other things. Good job.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes. Keep it up. Who else? Who else has a question?
Raim, you have a question?
Yeah, so like my question is that how long would it exactly take to build a spaceship?
Ooh, NISAR is taking us, let me see. We started integration. Oh man. With design or without design? If it's with design,
Like the total finished product.
yeah, 10 years, 10 to
10
12
years.
years to build it. Yeah. Because it's a scientific one. It's
Yeah.
one of a kind. It's like
So,
building the Ferraris and Lamborghinis that are unique.
so do
They're
you do tests in between completing the spaceship?
Yes, we do. We do test at different levels. So let's say you're building NISA, right? So Israel had to test their solar panels. They had to test their communication systems before they get delivered, right? Their instrument needs to be tested before it gets delivered to where we are at now. On our end, we also had to test all of the elements that go into the NISA, the boom, the reflector, the array, the recorder, the batteries, our communication system, all of that. I was in charge of doing a lot of that work actually. So then
Yeah.
when they bring it together, everything has to fit in and it
Yeah.
has to play together. Yeah. So think of your Xbox or your PlayStation, in parts. Everything just shows up to your house and now you have to put it all together.
Yeah. Okay, thank
But
you.
those little pieces need to be tested before. Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you.
you're welcome. Good question. Okay. Any questions?
Honyo, you have a question?
My question is, when does when a rocket was made?
Oh, the rocket. I think the rocket is probably being built as we speak. Yeah, it's get built like I don't know how many rockets Israel builds, but they probably have it like they're working on it because we're using it at the end of March, like in
No,
three
no, no.
months.
My question is, when this rocket is made? At January 2015 or
Oh, when is a rocket going to be sent?
no. When this rocket has made?
Has made
Yes,
it
yes.
to the spacecraft. Like the rocket is made to the spacecraft? Is that what you're asking? When does this happen?
My question is,
No, sir, I,
when nobody
I think
made rocket
when
at
it was
that
made.
time,
I think it
who
was
made, when the rocket was made at 2015 or 1965, when does
Oh, I
When
see.
when did they make the rocket?
Oh, invented rockets. Invented?
I think he means when did they start building it?
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Like Israel, you mean? Or when they started building rockets here in India or in the world? Or
No,
for,
when did Nisar start?
oh man, what was it that I was watching? It must have been in the 90s. Like in 1990, I don't know, like in somewhere in the 90s, that's where they started building the rockets here in India. They had the liquid propulsion system available, and they had the first stage and the second stage, and they got the third stage. It has to be
okay.
somewhere in the. Thank you. Anyone else?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead,
Okay,
Fatima.
so what made you to come to NASA?
Can you, a little louder, Fatima?
Yeah. So what made you to come to NASA?
To NASA. What made me come to NASA? It was my desire to explore space, to build something that can go to long distance, like Saturn and Mars, and be able to know more about those planets and Earth, of course, to the moon, Mercury, Venus, the sun, and that kind of reveals how big the universe is.
Like,
Yeah.
when did you start thinking about these things?
Um, to be honest, I was maybe like anywhere between 12 and 14 years. That's when I started thinking about it. Like seriously, like I would like obviously look at the
Before
stars.
that, did you have any kind of fascination?
If I have any, can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, before 14 to 13 years old,
Uh-huh.
did you have anything like you were interested other than this?
Mm, I do not recall. I just like to play soccer. That's what I like. I like soccer, and I think I was very much drawn to make my own toys as well. Like whatever I would see, I would just make it. I was so interested in um like I would do like business, like I would sell drawings. I would with the drawings, I'll take the money and buy pens and pencils and sharpeners, and then I will sell them at school, and then that got me in trouble. And then I'll use the money, and then I will do it again. Like I will buy candy, or I would like go buy more drawings, or I'll have my
You
grandpa
already
make
started
drawings. Yeah,
business then.
yeah, I like business too. Yeah. So currently, I also work in business as well. So business is very good too. If you have that acumen or you have that ability, I encourage business as well. Yes, big
Okay,
time.
thanks.
Good question. You made me think back, way back into time. Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Good team. Go Future School. Razzle, I think you have a question. You have your hand up. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. How was NASA invented?
1950, let me see, NASA, because it used to be NACA before. So it officially became NASA. I'll tell you right now. NASA became in 1958. Yeah, 1958. July 28, 1958. That's when NASA was funded.
Okay.
Thank you, Razon. All right. Anyone else? It's all good. Everyone is good.
Hello, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So like this is a question for my sister. So what the question was that she is asking what's the use of other planets other than Earth? Like what do they help in the solar system? What do they do?
Yeah, very good question. So it's not what they do. I think it's more of what they represent. Like in terms of like, for example, NASA is looking for, let's say, right now we send a spacecraft to what is say an asteroid that it's exposed. It's called a metal asteroid. Yeah. And actually, one of my very good friends, she's from India. She works at NASA JPL too. She went to school here in India, by the way. She is from Lucknow. So she went to school in Lucknow, University in Lucknow, I think. And then she went over to the US and studied her master's in the US. And that's how she ended up at JPL, just so you can get inspired as well. But and for your sister, right? Because Priyanka, it's a young lady as well, like your sister. So, and all of you ladies in the meeting, I encourage you to continue studying as well and pursuing your dreams in science and engineering or whatever you would like to go. We definitely need more of you, smarts in the industry. But to make a long story short, yeah, so the interplanetary program is there to do research and be able to find sort of like NASA's argument is they want to know how Earth was created, how the universe came to scene. So as we explore Mars, we find certain characteristics of what Earth could have been or what Earth could be if we were not in the right orbit. For example, Enceladus, who has like water spewing out of its orbit, it raises questions about, like what's out there and what is here on Earth, what could have been before, during, and after. Yeah, in my opinion, for me, it's like I look at other planets, to be honest, because I want to see a parallel between what we have here on Earth and what's, let's say, in Saturn or in Jupiter or in Mars. So that's I think that's important, right? To know that yes, Earth is in this orbit, and as we also there is symmetry in the interplanetary system. So if you were to read, let me see if I have enough time. So let's say Earth, Mars, so Jupiter, Saturn. So you have like distances that are like there's symmetry right now in the solar system. So there's some studies, research that show that, for example, Earth is at 2 units, right? Two, let's say one U from 1 U is it's like the distance from, let's say, for example, right, from the sun to Earth. Then there is symmetry saying, okay, there's 2 from Earth to Mars. Then there is 4 from Mars to the asteroid belt, and then this four square is yeah, or to 8 and then 64 or something like that. So there is a symmetry in the solar system as well, and I feel like NASA wants to investigate, right? How would we know, right? How do we know not only through observation like back in the 1800s or 1700s or 1600s, but actually sending missions out there and taking measurements? Yeah. It also helps physics too, right? Like, how do we know that light bends, right? Recently there was an experiment in space in which, you can read about too. They proved some of Albert Einstein's theories, about light bending in space and time theories as well that have been verified. So space exploration helps in different, not only, let's say, they're helping the theoretical physics become more factual, obviously facts, right? Not just a theory. Yeah, through measurements, through actually having instruments in space rather than just a theory of what it could be. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool.
Sir,
Anyone
I
else?
have a question. Sir, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Ma'am, sir, I am able.
Go ahead.
As sir, my question is, sir, you say that you check that the all the instruments and send use check the instruments and give. It was you check it, but it will little much it will the like a battery it will finish. It will slowly finish like that. Uh, like that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel that in the it is a medicine also. If we want to fill that spray like that, all thing. How do you fill that things? That is my question.
So let me see if I understood it right. So you said, how do I go like testing, right? That you said the batteries, for example, right? That
Yes, sir.
deplete
Yes, sir.
over time.
In testing, it will a little much the like a spray bottle. It will we will spread it. It will low that the liquid it will low. How like this only? How do retake that like that things? How do that retake that and send it?
Let me see. Like data. Let me understand. Let me see if I understand the question. So you're asking if we do testings, right, and if they go bad, how to bring them back? Is that what you're asking? Like, let's say the battery depletes and then charge them back again?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. So we do that analysis too. Yeah. So for the spacecraft, let's say we have a battery and it dies in the space, the battery level goes low, like your laptop or your phone, then we recharge through the solar panels to bring the battery back up. But we have to have the solar panels facing the sun. So let's say my lamp is the sun. So if I'm in the shade, there is no light, right? But once we are on the sun, the batteries are getting charged at the same time we're using them. Yeah, through the solar panels. Okay. Any other questions? We're good. Thank you, Abel. Thank you, Rain.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Um, so my question uh, is a rocket built at Qatar?
Qatar, huh? So Qatar, let me see. I think Qatar has a program, space program, but I think they're together with the United Emirates. Yes, so they announced that they're entering the space age with the launch of communications satellite Eshail from French Guiana in 2013. So it looks like they do have a program. They do have a space program in Qatar. It'll be interesting to look into it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I think what do you think, Sadir?
I think we can wind up. Yeah. Okay. Isa, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, you can take over.
I'd like to end the Q&A session and invite Roya for the vote of thanks.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Future School, I extend heartfelt thanks for your active participation in our enlightening webinar. We are privileged to have hosted an event that dwelled into the wonders of space exploration. Our gratitude goes to our distinguished speaker, Juan Gonzalez, whose insights illuminated the difficulties of NASA's groundbreaking missions. Your passion and expertise made this webinar truly unique. Thanks also to our attendees whose thoughtful questions and engagement enriched the discussion. Your curiosity and enthusiasm reflect the shared interest in the marvels of space exploration. Heartfelt thanks to coordinator Siddharth Milind, facilitators, and Future School for the invaluable opportunity. Your dedication made this event truly exceptional. Thank you once again for being part of this cosmic journey with us. We look forward to more exciting explorations together. Thank you.
You're welcome, everyone. It's a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
It's a pleasure seeing all of you, and thank you, Siddharth, for the invitation. I really
No
hope that.
problem.
Thanks, sir, for the wonderful session.
Thank you. Thank you. Likewise.
The
You guys,
wonderful session, sir.
thank you. You guys make
And
it
it
some.
was a very good section. Thank you, sir, for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you. All right. There might be
Thanks,
things.
I hope I will see you next.
Nice work, everyone. Nice work. Let's keep it up.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we all can leave. Thank you.
Ma'am,
Bye, sir. It was a super session. Bye.
ma'am,
Bye. Bye
please
from
join back
Bangalore.
in our class.
Yeah,
Yay.
we'll all join back to class. Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you,
Bye.
Juan. Thank you. We all
You're
can leave.
welcome.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
sir.
Yes, sir. It was
Okay.
wonderful.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful section, sir. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Keep
Bye.
up your studies. Ciao, everyone. Adios.